Welcome back to Oddie Hotties. I'm McKenna.
And I'm Bree.
I'm Gabby.
We have a guest again today.
Guest back for round two.
Yes. Today we're going to be talking body manipulations.
Manipulations, modifications,
Whatever.
Same thing.
chiropractors, or piercings and tattoos.
Piercings and tattoo.
Maybe chiropractors. Maybe we'll throw that in there just for fun.
Okay, I think that an old tattoo shop that I used to go to was called Body Manipulations. That's why I keep on saying that. But body modifications.
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about today. Hotties.
Yeah, welcome to the Oddie Hottie podcast.
Here we are. So again, welcome back. Today we're talking about body modifications.
Yeah, tattoos, piercings.
And we have our friend Gabby back.
It's me. Hello. I'm back.
So I want to get started with, any updates for the week?
We have a new listener.
Yeah, it was really funny. Tell the story.
Funny. So we went to a gay line dancing night at a local bar. Stomptown. And we were
Specifically a gay line dancing.
Yes, specifically.
You must
awesome.
come.
It's all the queers in the world.
I can't line dance. Will that be a barrier to
not at all.
participation? All right. Sounds good.
It is like queer joy
Yeah.
to the max. It is
surrounded by
just so good.
Stop it. That sounds really fun. I actually do want to come.
Yes,
do it.
Okay, so you got a new listener out of it.
So yeah, we were saying goodbye actually, and this person had been like near us the whole time, and like kind of was like, I don't know, while I was trying to learn the line dance, was kind of like calling out the steps for me, which was cool. And so they were kind of near us, and then as we were saying goodbye, I like leaned in and was like, okay, I'll see you on Sunday for recording, and they overheard recording, and they were like, recording? Do you have a podcast? What is it? Tell me.
They're like, do you talk to your friends and then record it and put it online? I'd like to hear it.
The whole 24 listeners, but they were like, hey, 25. Thank you. But their name is Blair. They recommended that we have one that we talk about in the future called about how do you approach someone new? Like how do you approach someone to talk to or be friends with or date or whatever.
God, if I ever figure it out, I'll let you all know.
Honestly, I teach people how to do that all week long, and I should know how to do that, but I do not.
So then you can teach us the theory, and then we can talk about what happens.
Correct.
Thank you. Give me a
for that in the future, Blair. We'll put one out for you.
Shout out to Blair.
Love it. That's a great episode.
Yeah.
All right.
We can talk about how badly it's gone for us.
Yeah.
Talk about how we became friends too.
That's
How it was like,
true.
yeah. Okay, so you'll have to come back a third time.
I will. You cannot get rid of me.
No, absolutely not.
Yep, even when you move, we're gonna put you on Zoom.
That's fair. I'll drive up here for the weekend and record.
So your update's kind of that you're moving soon, right?
Oh, that's true. I am moving to California soon, but
A little travel therapist.
yes. Yeah. I'm like actually really sad because the educational service district that I work for is an awesome one and I'm leaving all of them and then there's going to be new people and I'm like, oh no, what if I don't vibe with my new coworkers the same that I vibe with my current coworkers?
Yeah.
Such a valid fear.
There's never been any coworkers as cool as you guys though. So I'm still
friends.
on the downslide from that, but
On this new place, are you going to another service district? Or are you doing a
Yes.
different type of job? Or?
It's schools, and I don't know for sure yet if it's like early intervention or school age, but they were excited that I had EI experience, but that doesn't mean that they're going to put me in EI. So
yeah.
I would prefer EI because I love the babies.
You'll have to give me the scoop because I someday might end up moving to San Francisco Bay Area. So
Yes.
Yeah,
One of us.
I came from California. So I'm roots California. But
Well, and I've been trying to talk McKenna
I
to move
know.
too. So
I was just gonna say I spent a good month like weighing all of the options of staying here and moving back down because you're gonna be like 2 hours from my parents' house in like Monterey Bay. It is such a special part of the world. It is just magical and coastline and all the fun things. So I'm like so excited that you're moving down there because I'm going to visit.
Yes,
And
of course.
also, like, oh,
Bree, you're gonna come too.
Yeah.
yeah, road trip.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm going to stay here for now. But
That's valid.
I'll still
I
move your stuff down and
Thank you.
visit
I
often.
appreciate this.
I love my current job too much. So if
Yeah.
things go bad with administration and things go downhill, then it might be the time to shake up life if I
Yeah.
lose a job here. So.
It's always good to have an exit strategy.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Especially right now.
Got plans.
I have a not funny update. I had my first time in a long time where I realized that I have hit a window of tolerance that like is a lot lower than before, and that happened this week. I was out at dinner on Wednesday night and at a restaurant where a lot of tables were like close together and like
Hate it.
yeah, the floors were cement and like it was just really loud. And also, there was like the stove broke. So, like, half the people didn't get their food after they sat, which, like, was fine in theory. However, it was like so many people were talking about it around us. And I was like, not only distracted, but I was like pretty quiet. Like, I just noticed the person I was with, like, I was like, okay, I like want to focus on this, but I'm like so overwhelmed by what's happening around me. And then I woke up Thursday and was like super anxious over it because I was like, oh my God, I like done going to restaurants? Like
Is
have I hit a new like lower threshold? So who knows what's going to happen, but it was kind of interesting and I wanted to talk about on the podcast because I know that's happened a lot with me, especially since being diagnosed in the last year of having those like little glimpses of what I used to be able to do and now kind of my new, yeah. So it's just interesting, but and sad in a way as well. I think that honestly, there were a lot of like playing factors into it. Um, and I'm sure I'll be able to like dine out at restaurants again, but maybe not that specific one. And I don't know, because I've been eating outside a lot at restaurants because the weather's been so nice and that's been easy peasy. So maybe that's my little like accommodation.
Yeah.
But have you guys ever like felt super overwhelmed at restaurants before?
Often.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's part of what I was asking you guys because I asked them earlier about going to an ASL social and trying to learn more ASL because I used to use ASL to be nonverbal in situations like that a little bit. Not that I'm fluent, but
Yeah.
I was with a partner who like knew enough that I could like verbalize like, oh, I need to be nonverbal right now, and this is like, I need to go to the bathroom or I need to do this.
Yeah. Great tool to use. Yeah.
I wish I knew more sign because I just go nonverbal and then I just shut down and can't communicate with anyone. So that would definitely be helpful.
I definitely have like the getting nonverbal where I can't like I can force myself to continue to be verbal, which is why I always thought that I wasn't nonverbal. I always thought like, oh well, that means like obviously
I can actually just power through but I will collapse for 3 hours
I
after.
will seriously pay for it. Yeah.
That's not a disability, right? That's not anything I need to get diagnosed with. Everybody, right? Uh-oh.
That's kind of what I noticed though, is I was just like, I am like able to speak right now, but like there is no language behind what I'm saying. And like it's really uncomfortable and it does feel like a push through. And I have experienced that like in bits and pieces, but like it was so strong on Wednesday that I was like, oh, okay, like this is happening.
Yeah.
I feel like when you have like a diagnosis or like at least an understanding of the fact that you are on the spectrum, it's like harder to push through or like you just kind of choose not to push through because you're just like, oh, I don't want to collapse for 3 hours after.
Yeah.
And it can look like a regression or feel like a regression, but it's actually you being a better self-advocate for yourself.
Yeah, what's actually been happening all along.
Yeah. But try explaining that to your mom.
Mom would understand.
Everybody does that.
Well, it's funny. My mom was in town last weekend, and we've had so much growth in our relationship just in general, but especially with my autism diagnosis and just like, you know, my parents are supportive anyway in a lot of things in life. And I gave her like Unmasking Autism to read, and she straight up read it. And like
Oh.
last year, I moved into my new small house, and she's so project oriented and just like wants to get it all done while she's here, yada yada. And I had to be like, Mom, like I have a lot more information of how I operate, and like this is too much, and we need to do one thing at a time. And like there's just been some bumps along the way, but I feel like the last few times that she's been here, she's just been so respectful of my boundaries. And
Aw.
also this time was like, and if it's too much for you, like that's okay. We can like just do this, and just it's so
Oh,
I love it. It's
that's
Mother's
really
Day
sweet.
too right now.
Yes,
So
we're
I
recording
love
on
my
Mother's
mom.
Day. Yep.
But yeah, I just feel so grateful to have someone like that in my corner and just like reminding me that it's okay to have those lower tolerances and that like
Mm.
I'm still worthy, all of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So true, Dusty.
right.
You are.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, not on the topic of Mother's Day, but body manipulations or body modifications.
We're gonna call it that. We're going with
All I can picture is
Or
kind
maybe-
of brush.
Yeah, I know. Joint manipulation.
Joint manipulation, go.
I guess that's kind of a good first question. Like, how do your parents respond to all of your tattoos, piercings?
My
Where
mom
you
just
wanna go
kinda,
first?
my mom just kind of goes like, okay, whatever, it's your body, I guess.
That's what you want to do. Fine.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
Your body, your choice.
Yep.
You're making Jesus cry, but
Fortunately, not that bad.
Okay.
No, she hasn't been too particular. She's definitely not someone who would get a tattoo herself or anything. But it's really funny because she's the middle of five kids, and all my aunts and uncles above and below her are all like, "Yeah, let's get tattoos and let's do like
Funny.
drink and party." And my mom's like, "I really don't do any of this."
I'm not a wild child.
Somehow, the middle child.
Everybody else can be a wild child, but not me.
Yep. Yeah. So she hasn't been too judgy of it. And interesting, my little brother, he has one tattoo, but he had kind of always been anti-tattoos. So when he got his, I was like, what? But his is for, I have a tattoo for our dad, and he does too. So
Oh, beautiful.
yeah.
Love it.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. Do we want to go into tattoos?
Yeah, I want to hear
Yeah.
about want to share that one first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So
I'll put you on the spot.
I'll have to share pictures of it because it's hidden underneath my shirt. It goes on my shoulder blade and goes around to the front. It was my first long tattoo. So I had two before that. If we want to we'll back up and go in order. My first
We
tattoo
can
I
do
got
however we want.
my first tattoo I got on my ribs because I'm crazy.
Oh, Lord in heaven.
Spicy.
Yeah.
It was only like a 40-minute tattoo though, so it's just a quote.
She
So.
said only 40 minutes?
Only 40 minutes.
That's insane. 40 minutes on your ribs? Were you okay?
Well, and then I got it in a foreign country too, because I got it on my first study abroad. I got it in Scotland.
Hell
And I was
yeah.
there by a random like Romanian tattoo artist who I don't remember how I picked him. I think I looked at his art and was like, yeah, okay, that'll work. And it was close.
Yeah.
And like obviously I didn't have a car or anything because I was on study abroad.
If you texted me that you were going to do this right now, I would be like, are you okay? I'd be like, bestie, we need to call it a wellness
I'd
check.
be like, have fun.
It's faded now.
Life is a journey, not a destination.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Journey, not a destination. And I didn't notice that he did it at the time. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it just was how it came out, but it has a comma between the life is a journey, not a destination, and no period. There's no destination.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's very like artistic.
Yeah. We have got that one on study abroad.
I love
And
symbolism.
then I guess this was my second one. Yeah, because I got my other little one before that. So my shoulder is my second one. It was for my dad. It took me like 5 years after he passed to pick something for
Yeah.
what I wanted. And I'll post the picture that's like the inspiration picture and the actual tattoo. But I saw on Pinterest a piece of artwork that was an electric guitar that was then like morphing into metal butterflies like coming out of the guitar.
Cool.
And I saw that and just thought that was like the most beautiful representation of like my dad and I played. He would play guitar and I would like sing along with him. And like we didn't have a lot of things that were like our thing because my dad was very like independent autistic, like kids are overwhelming. I just want to go like do my work and do my hobbies and whatever.
Yeah, I remember you saying on an earlier episode that like in order to connect with him, you really had to like dive into his hobbies with him.
Yeah, yeah. You had to
Yeah.
be like in the garage hanging out with him,
Yeah.
or yeah, doing horse stuff with him.
Sure.
Yeah. So the singing along with him was one of the few things that we like kind of got to do together. But he would try to teach me a little bit of guitar stuff and then just get frustrated because like
Fingers were probably too
you're a child and you're not
Yeah.
good enough. Like not good enough, but you're a child and you can't figure it out like in 2 seconds. So
Right.
I'm overwhelmed.
That tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah. But he would play and then I would sing, and that was really like a sweet time for us.
So there's a guitar. I've
there's a
seen the
guitar.
batar. I've seen the batars.
Batars.
I've seen the butterflies.
Butterflies, yeah. So there's
Butterflies.
a guitar on the back, and then it has the butterflies like morphing out of the guitar, like that art piece was. And the guitar is modeled after his guitar. I brought in like the picture of the one that he played the most. And then it has a quote above it that was, so he was not a man of many words. He was not one to like talk or say like cutesy things or like, I don't know, I can probably count on one hand like how many times I heard like I love you or whatever towards my mom or towards kids. Like he just was not a talker.
Yeah.
But in his will, it was like a 1-page Word document with like a paragraph on what he was leaving to who and what for me, like individually. And it was just like leaving you the car, leaving you this guitar, leaving you this like percent of the house or whatever. Like, and then it had a line below it that said, "P.S. Give them hell." And it was just like out of the blue, like something deep that yeah, I had never heard from him before. And it's like
That's
I was like,
awesome.
wow, thanks for the parting word, Dad. Like,
Give him hell.
give him hell.
I
Yeah.
love
I
that.
kind of love
Yeah, that's
that.
fantastic.
So I have it above the guitar. It says, "P.S. Give him hell."
Yeah, that's really sweet.
It's a really sweet one.
Oh, thank you for sharing. That's really beautiful.
So I'm one of those people that like I don't get tattoos that don't like mean something. So like I have wanted to get a flash tattoo so
Yeah.
many times and then just can't commit. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah,
well, where would I put it? And then what if it's in the way of something that I do want later? Like,
totally.
All valid questions.
yeah.
For sure.
But I would love to just go and be like, yeah, slap it on there.
Get it. Get it, get it, get it.
Yeah.
I know. One of the things that really stands between me and getting something is price. Like very little to do with the meaning and very much to do with the price. Where I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
I
The most
really
financially
understand.
responsible choice.
Yeah. Ugh.
But I always
Can't
say if
do
you
it.
save for it ahead of time and you just go and use that money for it, then you're very responsible, right? Like,
It's true, but back to the finance episode. I'm just kidding.
This is the neurodivergent podcast. And that requires long-term planning and decision making. Things that we all are not the best at.
yeah. So I'll do my other two quick.
Yeah.
My wrist one is also meaningful. It's very small. It just says "Choose Joy," but it has the semicolon tattoo.
That's what got me and you to be friendsies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because I just saw it while we were at the soccer game, and I just remember it being like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, we can always choose joy.
Yeah.
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 So I remember
That was
that.
my like reminder to myself. I wanted it somewhere I could easily see it. And then I was reading on Reddit that actually the semicolon is like split in the autistic and ADHD communities because obviously we have a lot of, depression, suicidal.
We want to kill ourselves
ideations,
more
all of
than
that.
average.
Yep. Gabby did not mince words. More than the average person. Yep. But on Reddit they were talking about like a lot of people are like, I don't want a reminder of that all the time. And then the other half was like split the opposite way, like where I wanted mine was the reminder of like in the moment, like it goes on, like this is the end of the story, that kind of thing. To be like a reminder in the moment. Whereas other people were like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Fair. I think
Yeah.
both
Yeah,
ways are
definitely.
valid for sure.
Yeah. If you don't want to be constantly reminded of something, definitely don't get a tattoo of it.
Yeah.
Then.
Also, if you don't want people to talk about it, don't get it on your wrist. 'Cause I have people ask all the time what my tattoo says because it's in italics, so it's a little hard to see. This is a funny story though. When I went to get it, the first font that they pulled up, I looked at it and immediately was like, no, that says
No.
Ease Joy.
Cheese joy.
Italic. We were like,
Still a good tattoo, honestly.
Cheese joy.
Incredible.
Even if you feel sad,
Cheese.
there is always joy in
There's
cheese.
Cheese joy. I do love that.
Yeah. And my last one, and then I'll stop.
No,
My last
This is
one's
the
mine.
tattoo episode.
Yeah, the tattoo tour. My last one is my
Tour.
biggest and longest one. It was a 2 session. One was 9 hours and one was like 5 hours. And it's the length of my leg, pretty much like the low mid calf to my upper thigh. And it is my mermaid and a narwhal and a jellyfish. So the jellyfish was kind of just a cool add-on because he looked cool. But the mermaid is because I have
Visual.
yeah, well, we're about to do an episode 2 on animals, and I'll explain more about my narwhal obsession. But I love them enough to have one tattooed on.
That's so beautiful.
they're so cute.
They're so cute. So I love narwhals. I think they're really awesome because of being, they're not mystical creatures, but everyone thinks they are.
Yes.
And then the mermaid was more for me as a reminder of like, I don't know, magic and mysticism and like adventure in the world and that kind of thing. Because I have always wanted to be a mermaid. I'm very water oriented. And just like the thought of being a mermaid would be so fun.
You
But
can
I
be a
got
mermaid
her.
if you want to.
Yeah, I know. I really want to get a silicone tail. Like actually be a mermaid. I want to be in a mer pod. I'd really need to live close to a coast or something though, because that's where all the
Yes.
groups are. There are adult groups of people who buy tails and actually are mermaids. So
That's fantastic.
I love that
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, it was super
adorable.
I learned something new today.
Yeah, I'll post about that too. But yeah, I got her purposely facing away, so you see kind of the back of her or her profile, but not an actual face of her own. Because I wanted it to be like it's me,
Yeah.
not like she's
Yeah.
her own mermaid.
Sure.
So
It's me.
It's me. I'm a mermaid. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. And then I have lots of piercings.
Lots and lots of
Nothing explicit. My belly button.
yet.
And my
Yeah.
septum. Yes. OnlyFans.
Growth mindset. You have no explicit piercings yet.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, belly button, septum, 2 earlobes. I have my I don't remember what the rook. I think it's my rook.
Rook.
Yeah, because
Rook
I
or
wish
conch
I
or
wish I
whatever.
had gotten the daith, but because daith piercings have a lot more jewelry that can go in them,
Cool.
and rooks have like next to none. And I was like, wow, I really didn't plan that well.
You could get that today.
I could add on today.
Spoiler alert, someone's getting a piercing today.
Good. You can guess
That's
now
nice.
who's getting the piercing.
Yes.
Let's see. And then I have my newest ones are the 2 on my outer ear. So this one is the conch. The ring is the conch, and then an outer with it. So these 2 were a mistake because the backs touch too close together.
Oh no.
And so it constantly gets irritated when I sleep on it.
Oh.
So that was a poor choice, but it's okay.
No poor choices.
Live and we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live and we learn.
I used to have both of my upper cartilage
Yeah.
pierced, and then I had to go for an MRI, and I took them out, and they closed over in the time that I was in the MRI.
Wow. That's pretty
Quick. Yeah, they were a little infected probably, so that was probably not. They weren't as healed as they should have been. But I got my first one of my traguses when I was 18.
both
So,
traguses.
Both traguses, yeah, at 18.
So tragus piercing.
Tragus piercings, yeah, so that's fine.
So that was my first body manipulation and actually like my worst. I know body modification, whatever.
It's okay.
Probably the worst thing I did as a teenager. So,
Oh no.
The worst thing you did as a teenager was getting your tragus pierced.
I mean, it is
It's worse than you
it
think.
is gold.
Oh boy.
So I turned 18 or was going to turn 18, and my family and I had gone to Disneyland for like every birthday pretty much of mine. I was really spoiled. And I begged for like an 18th birthday trip there too. And so they planned it. We flew down and everything. And I realized like maybe a week before our trip that like I could get a piercing on my 18th birthday by myself. And so I lied to my parents and said, "Oh, I need to get home. Like I need to study for finals." Um, and so they like changed my flight and they stayed in Disneyland and I flew back early and got my tragus pierced.
Did you go by yourself or did you go with a friend at least?
My friend picked me up from the airport
Mm.
and it was a whole
Like
thing.
straight there from the airport.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah. Yep.
Based.
And like my mom didn't really see it for a few weeks, and then like her and my dad were both so pissed, which like honestly, I would be too if like that's such a bratty moment.
Were they pissed that you got the piercing, or were they pissed that like you lied and flew home and changed your flight?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I think the second one is fair. The piercing, I mean, it's your body, you do what you want.
Well, I think
But
that's the thing with my experience of like getting piercings and tattoos is I was the first child by a long shot. Like I'm
Mm.
5 years older than my brother, 10 years older than my sister, and my brother doesn't have any tattoos or piercings, I don't think. He might have a tattoo, but and now my sister is like she's got facial piercings. She has probably like 20 tattoos already, and it's like that's her
big.
thing. Um, but when I was getting them as like the first kid, I mean,
Mhm.
it was a lot of shame. Like, I don't like that, and like, why would you ever do that to your
You'll never
body?
get a job.
Exactly, exactly. And so, I walked so she could run.
So true.
Love.
But yeah, because my first tattoo I got a year later. This is my Jesus tattoo.
Mm.
Love forever on the wrist.
Tell us about your Jesus tattoo.
Well, I wanted this. I wanted it for like 6 years. And the meaning behind it is if I don't feel that there's love here on earth, that there's love forever somewhere else.
Oh, so here's a little afterlife-y too.
It's pretty afterlifey. And I got this when I was away at college and came home for Christmas break, and my mom like gave me the silent treatment for a week.
Oh my
It was
God.
pretty bad.
I just got a head shake.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of funny. And then I remember her like saying, well, at least it's not a butterfly or something like that. And I have butterflies now. It's just so funny. But should I do a tattoo tour of me? Okay.
Yes.
So gosh, I don't remember them in order because I have a lot of little ones. Okay. So my arm's probably like the most tattooed, but I got this.
Butterflies.
Yeah, here's my butterflies. So it's me and my sister, actually. So I chose this one and she chose that one.
Cute.
Um,
Did she get them too?
she didn't.
Okay.
We got
What?
this one.
What the hell?
It was my own decision. It was my own decision. And I got him after this was our tattoo that we got together, me
Oh.
and Maggie. So she has this on her calf, and I have it there. We got him for like $50 in New York City.
Tell the people what it is that can't see.
Oh, it's a hippo. It's a teeny little hippo. I get
Teeny little-
compliments on it all the time. This was the most painful
like-
tattoo.
Ooh,
Like so painful. I can still like kind of feel it.
the elbow
Awful.
ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Had my little rainbow for being gay. I have a mug on the back, which I got it for drinking coffee, but then I started taking ceramics classes like a couple months ago, and I was wearing a tank top, and the teacher was like, "Oh my gosh, you've always been meant to be a potter. Look at the mug on your arm." And I'm like, "It's true. It's
Yes.
true. I did it on purpose." I have a bigger one on my back. This is flowers like peonies and roses, and there's actually blackberries or raspberries. One of the berries. Got it kind of in commemoration of my grandma Betty that died. And also I just loved it. And my plan is to have my whole arm with flowers.
Yeah, I kind of want to do a garden arm too.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get there one day
Yeah.
with the pricing and everything. I'm not super sure. Let's see what
Pay for
else.
more important things like my pet's teeth getting taken
Yeah.
care of, things like that first. Super exciting.
I just have student
That shit
student
is
loans.
expensive.
Yeah, it's not fun. I have a snail and mushroom on my arm or on my leg.
My arm.
On my arm. This one I got as like kind of a symbol of all the growth that I've done in the last year in particular. That's my newest one. And
Mhm.
then I have a tree on my ankle that I got randomly, but my sister-in-law, soon to be sister-in-law, actually has the same tattoo. And
Wow.
so we were like, oh, we're meant to be. And then Maggie has to get the tree on her ankle too. So we're like sisters.
Matchy matchies.
Yes.
And then I have a moon on my butt.
We have talked about the butt tattoo before.
So
I will say
So
the most painful spot for me was this one line
really
across the front of
on
my
your
knee.
knee.
The rest
that
of
makes
it did not
sense.
hurt. I thought the back of my
Oof.
thigh would be horrible. No, didn't hurt at
Really?
all on the back of my thigh, but this one, and I was like, I swear to God, if you go over that again, I'm gonna
You'll be going.
So now I'm like, I could never get like a full like knee tattoo or anything because I'm like, oh, it would be so bad.
You can't do it.
I've heard that like anything that's over bone is what hurts. So
Yeah,
like
that's why
it
the
makes
ribs
sense
are
that
rough and yeah.
yeah. How was your ribs tattoo experience?
Honestly,
Was it
the only thing I remember about it was being so stressed about not breathing too much.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
That's
It's
a
like, how do you
shame.
hold still when you have to breathe?
Yeah,
Sure.
good point. But that even still moves your ribs a little
Yeah, and then
bit.
they're like
So
resting their arm trying to like get an angle on you, and so if you move your tummy, then you're also moving
yep,
them, and
yeah.
like it's just that was
They're
really
just
hard.
all up in you.
Which is silly because one of the next tattoos I want to get like added on like sternum and like
Oh,
so
so
that would be very
cool.
painful too, but
I love that.
yeah.
So you're just a masochist, is what you're telling
Oh
the
yeah, just want
people.
all the
Yeah.
hard ones, yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I could do a rib tattoo. I really want to, and I have a couple that I want, but even some of the ones I've gotten, I've heard as well that people will either have light hands or heavy hands as the
Mhm.
tattoo artist. And I remember this rainbow also just being like super painful, and it
The
felt like
colors
they were
too.
going into super into my skin. Yeah, I had to get some of it
Colors
redone.
are painful too
Are
because they
they?
have to
Okay.
really like push it in a lot harder, whereas the
Oh.
black just is so much more
Okay, and then maybe that
opaque.
was it because
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck, I feel like
Yeah,
you're
that was
cutting my
my
arm open.
my butterflies had watercolor around them. And they
Yeah,
were also at the
Oh,
end of like a 5 hour tattoo, so it was like getting sore from that
sure.
too. But like I
Yeah.
do remember the colors being
Yeah.
worse. So
I've also heard that watercolor is painful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I gotta do all kinds of like
They gotta do that.
shading.
Yeah.
And when you
Ugh.
shade with the needle, it's all kinds of
Yikes.
Makes it
fun.
sound fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your tattoos?
So I have two.
Two
And
tattoos.
the first one I got like 2 days after I turned 18.
Hell yeah.
It was the most basic white girl tattoo that has ever happened. And you know what? Fuck that. I own it. It's the word namaste and it's on the back of my shoulder. Fun fact, so before I turned 18 and before I could actually get the tattoo, I got like a henna, like I had someone write the word namaste on my back in henna. And then when I got the tattoo, obviously my dad could not find out because my dad's an 83-year-old Catholic man right now, and he was a 73-year-old Catholic man back then. And so he was like, why God gave you one body and you're not supposed to do anything that God wouldn't like with it. And so I convinced him, or I thought I had convinced him, that the tattoo was just the henna and it was just like staying for a really long time.
That is
This-
so funny.
This was my ruse. And then one day, my mom and my sister were like, Dad already knows about the tattoo. Like, you should just tell him. You should just come clean. And so I was like, Dad, I got a confession. We're a Catholic family. I have a tattoo. This is real. It's not coming off. And he was like, and so my mom and my sister lied to me.
Oh,
He did
no.
not know, and he probably wouldn't have known for like a while if I hadn't have told him. So that's a
hilarious.
10-year grudge I've been holding, and it feels really good to share that with you guys right here and now.
Oh my gosh.
Stinkers.
I mean, my dad is like cool now. He's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I can't
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's what it comes to. Like, even if it's initial, like, shock and whatever, it kind of wears off and you do just become neutral to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know my dad like admires Maggie's tattoos and is just like, oh, so beautiful. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, you've come so far. Which is
Sweet.
really sweet.
Yeah.
It is really sweet.
Yeah. So what's your second one?
So my second one, and I'm sorry I'm not wearing socks, so these are my feet. It says, so it's a little cat, and it says how. It's about cats. And the story behind that is, so Do you guys know the musical Cats by
Mhm.
Andrew Lloyd Webber? So when that first came out, everybody was like, what is this? Like, what is this
What is this
bullshit?
crap?
Yeah. Are you on drugs? Like, why did you write a musical that's entirely about cats?
Yeah.
And there's a kind of like apocryphal story that he was talking to Hal Leonard, and Hal Leonard was asking him like, is it like a metaphor for like the English monarchy? Is it like it's like a socio-political like story? And he said, Hal, it's about cats. And so I was like, I'm gonna get that tattooed on my body
Very
for
literal.
yes. And I actually so I get a tattoo after every bad breakup. That's how the first two have
Hell
happened.
yeah. So what's
And
the next one?
I still need one. Yeah, I mean, you know I'm due for one. I can talk about that one later. I know exactly what I'm getting.
Hell yeah.
But so I was going to get my second tattoo, and I had like a whole different thing planned out. And I was watching like a YouTube video about Andrew Lloyd Webber where I heard the story, and I texted my friend who's also super into musicals and was like, wouldn't it be funny if I just got How It's About Cats tattooed on my body instead of like the emotional and significant, meaningful tattoo that I wanted to get? And then I got in the tattoo shop and I was like, you know what? And then an hour later, I texted my friend. It's like, guess what? Yes. All like it's funny because all of mine have been impulsive.
Yeah.
But like I also like to think about what tattoo I'm gonna get and like have it set out. And then sometimes I just change at the last minute and I'm like, because I've wanted one forever, but I haven't gotten it.
Well, we went to a comedy show
Did
that was like that had tattoos there as like part of
Oh,
gimmick, and
yes.
like they were like $100 flash tattoos, and I think we were both planning on getting one, and then just both
The
decided
vibes were
not
wrong.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just an off night anyway, but I do feel like those kind of events are so fun where you're just like, oh, I'm gonna pick something off the flash sheet. And
Yes.
That's
yeah.
definitely a challenge of like picking tattoo artists though, is like the vibe and like do they get the vibe or not? Because I feel like our
Yeah.
communication is so different. So like you almost
Totally.
need like an artist that
Someone
is
that's
probably
also
neurodiverse that gets
yes.
because also happened with my leg tattoo was I had had past experiences with my wrist one especially that I went in to get the quote, but then also I wanted like flowers around the quote. And we went through like 5 or 6 different iterations of her like trying to do what I asked for, and it just kept coming out like clip art things and like was not getting what I wanted. So I just went with the quote only because I knew I wanted that.
Right.
But then like with my leg artist, I found her because I wanted that collaboration of like realism and abstract kind of things, and she had really unique abstract ones, and she just like got it. Like we were like, these are the components that I want. Like I want it to look abstract. I brought pictures, and then she just like two tries, like we adjusted the teeny little thing,
Yeah.
and just got it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, there are so many unspoken rules of
Mhm.
like going to get tattoos, and I feel like I didn't know that you could even get other fonts. Like I thought that you just had to choose the font and it's cursive, and I would have much rather had this in my own handwriting or whatever. And then also like placement wise, I don't know if y'all have ever been like too shy when like they're placing them and you're like, actually, I do not like it there. Can we like try it in another way or another angle? And I feel like for me and what I've experienced, I have felt the artist get impatient with me when I'm trying to make the decision, and then I just like
Freeze.
people
Yeah.
please because and then it freeze and all the stuff, and
Yeah.
so I'm like I think that's maybe part of why I haven't gotten a lot more tattoos is because I just freak out over that experience, and but maybe a neurodiverse person would be like, I wonder if there's any artists here that we could
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
support.
anyone in the art realm probably has
It's
some
true,
amount of
Portland.
neurodiversity. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the tattoo artists are all neurodivergent.
Hopefully. But yeah, that's something I was reading about on the Reddit post with some people talking about you know how with my haircuts we've talked before about like afterwards having that moment of like I hate it. Oh my gosh. Like, oh, it's a change. I can't handle change. And people were talking about with their tattoos that happens sometimes of being like, oh my God, my body's changed. Like even though this is what I wanted, like now it's different. Yeah. I can't do anything about it. And
totally. It's an interesting experience for sure.
I've never done that with my tattoos. I think just because I like pictured them for so long, and then when it finally happens, I'm just like, what?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way with the one I just got on my leg because it's my first leg tattoo. And so I think I just didn't really have any thought into where I wanted to put it. And I really liked the placement and I do still love it. I also just feel like, okay, what can I do around it? Like, how can I work with it? And so it's
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know, but I'm gonna get more tattoos. It's just,
I
Hell yeah.
definitely
yeah.
overthink. I overthink my tattoos a lot. That's why
Yeah.
I've only gotten the ones that I have.
Same.
Yeah.
I just like I have so many saved that I would love to have, but then like the decision of like placement of where do I want it, overthinking like what if in the future and
Yeah.
like all these little components.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. What have your guys' experiences been actually getting tattoos? Do you like the feeling? Do you hate the feeling?
I love it.
I'm into it. Yeah.
I like pain.
So the one on my shoulder, like they did it and I was like, you're done? That's it? Like really?
Yeah.
Like it was so quick.
Yeah.
That the guy was
Text
like,
ones,
I'm
yeah.
done. And I'm like, really? And he's like, no, I'm fucking with you. No, that would be rude. Like if I were to just be like, oh, just kidding, it's over. No, you actually got like 40 more minutes. No. My ankle hurt a lot, but
I bet. I
yeah.
bet that hurt a lot.
My mom's cool. My mom has my sister's and my name tattooed on her foot,
Cute.
which
The tattoos, ouch.
yeah, she's like they hurt. That was a bitch. She was like that was actually worse than giving birth to either of you.
Shit.
But at least I have your names. That's awesome.
Yeah,
What about you?
I like it. I had run the one that is pretty much my experience, but they said I almost fell asleep during a tattoo. Anyone have similar experiences? Except for me being afraid to move when my butt cheek would fall asleep. I took the don't move during the tattoo a bit too seriously. Which is what I was saying too, of like trying to breathe like
Yeah,
We just do everything literally,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
There's no
breathing is
So,
movement. You
yeah.
said don't move, so I guess I gotta hold my
Don't
breath.
breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they said I love being tattooed and the continuous noise and sensation felt really nice. Like the whirring was being soothing and that's what I get out of it.
It's a
I
lot of
tell people it
proprioception.
feels like vibration, but like then plus the like stinging of the
Yeah.
needles.
Yeah.
So it's really not bad as long as it's not in bad spots.
Yes.
Oh, no, I want a tattoo.
Same.
Gosh, I won't want one for so long. Yeah, it's bad.
I made my appointment to get my next one.
Okay, what is your next one?
It's going to be so the musical Hadestown.
Yeah.
It's going to be a quote from that. That's the quote is to the world we dream about and to the one we live in now.
Oh.
And it's going to be around a little flower that is the album art of the Hadestown soundtrack. And the to the world we dream about is going to be facing outward, and then the one we live in now is going to be facing inward. Symbolism.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I'm so excited.
Symbolism.
Yeah, and my friend reminded me yesterday, he was like, tattoos are going to be way more expensive out in California. So
Yeah,
you
they
should
are.
get yours
You should.
ASAP. And I was like,
Absolutely.
yeah, you're right. I should probably,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that I should stockpile before I move to California.
What was the quote that you told me? I contain multitudes.
contain
Is that it? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's my next one, I'm pretty sure. Gabby and I,
Honored.
yeah, well, we were talking just
It's
about
original.
It's what?
It's not an original thought.
where's it from?
I don't know, but I've never
You don't know, but it's not from you. Well, what it means is like nothing's black and white. And I think we were talking about it in regards to my healing and whatnot, and just that like it's not a linear path forward. And also, like, I think of the spiral too. I think I talked about this on the podcast, but just that, like, there are so many layers or so many things that play into it. And I think, like, thinking I contain multitudes, like, it's just very beautiful. And, we're not simple.
Yeah.
So true. That's
Like
it.
My next one's gonna be not that complicated.
Okay, great.
Us.
I
Share
don't
with the
contain
class.
multitudes.
I don't. No more.
I am linear.
No, it's no more quotes for me. That's the problem. I'm up to 3 quotes and I gotta branch out.
I hear you there.
Yeah.
I feel like I always want ones that contain quotes. And then I'm kind of like, that's kind of basic. Like, should get like an actual art thing. What were you gonna say?
My next one that I want to get is I hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2022, and so wait,
22.
yeah, 2022. And so I really want to get something to commemorate that. But I was taking a long time with it because I don't like a lot of the traditional like trail tattoos. Like I don't really like having like the symbol that's like the AT symbol, or like I know a lot of them are like the path or whatever. And none of them really fit my style that I've seen. But on trail at the very like last week of trail, I saw a mink when I was hiking on the trail, and it was so cute. They look like little like river otters slash little ferrets like put together. It was so adorable.
So
And I want one really bad that's like a color realism, but with like flowers and stuff around it. That would be like the beginning of my
love that.
sleeve.
Love it.
Yeah, so that would like highlight the trail for me.
Cute.
I almost got it. I almost got a tattoo on a whim last month. It was
You did?
almost a surprise. Yeah, there was somebody doing a national park fundraiser.
That's right.
And they were really pretty. They were like diamond shaped with the national park like outlines in them. Like there was one for Crater Lake.
I would get that on my body for sure.
It was really pretty, and I was really tempted. I still am, but I was waiting because I had emailed her, and she said that she would maybe do more designs.
Cool.
And I requested like maybe an Alaska design or something that would be more meaningful to me because they were all parks that I hadn't been to.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. I was like, I could get Crater Lake and then go this year and like make it a thing.
I could get Crater Lake and then just never go.
Why do you have Crater Lake? Is it special? No, never been there.
It's just a vibe.
It's just pretty.
Valid reason to get a tattoo. It's pretty, yeah.
Some people have license plates that have Crater Lake on them, and I don't know if they've all been to Crater Lake. I think it's pretty fun.
We'll go soon because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're closing down
Mhm.
for like 4 years of refurbishment.
Yeah, not the whole park, just the trail that's like down to the water. It's like you can
okay.
still go to the park, you just can't go get in the lake or boat or any of that stuff for a
Got it.
while. Yeah.
I really want to jump into Crater Lake, but I'm also like so terrified.
Oh, are you scared of deep water?
Yes.
Let's
Very
go.
scared of
Let's
deep
do it
water.
together.
Okay.
I'm a mermaid.
You're a mermaid.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
come
that's
too.
afraid of the water.
Okay.
We'll do her mermaid tail.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so we didn't cover piercings for you.
I had my nose pierced at one point.
Septum
And-
or side?
Side.
Side.
I was a little bitch. I was scared of the septum, I'm not gonna lie. And then I had like lab goggles because I was in college and I was taking a bunch of labs. And one day I almost like ripped out my nose piercing while taking the lab goggles off. I know. And so I took it out that day and it closed up and I never looked back. I was so terrified.
My belly button ring has a clear, you can see the rip on the side of it.
Oh my God.
Because I got it caught. I was taking my trash can out and it got caught in the trash can somehow and like ripped sideways. That was terrible.
My like intestines are coiling up at that story.
Yeah.
That's
My
so
cheeks are like
It was the biggest like fear of my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes too, if your jeans have stitching on the inside of it, sometimes they'll get caught in the prongs on the like jewel.
I would take it out. I would
It's
take
the
it out right
scariest thing
away.
in the world.
Me too.
It's like the scariest moment. You're just like, oh, fuck.
Oh, it's so stinking cute.
It
But
is.
I-
It is really cute.
I like
But
I
it would-
remember there was this horror story. Can I tell the horror story? Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Yes, of course.
Of a girl playing softball sliding into third and it like ripping up a little bit.
I'm dying. That was horrible.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
So
So on the
Lot
count
of
of three,
insight.
let's reveal who is getting a piercing today. Ready? 1, 2, 3. McKenna! Now that we just told horror stories about it.
I know. Now I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it.
We've psyched you out.
Yes.
Great.
I'm gonna get my septum pierced today.
Join the gang.
Yes. Join the gang. I was thinking between a nose ring, like nostril and septum. I've wanted both for a while, and well, yeah, I could. I have a couple of fake rings at home that I just like wore around the house this week, and I was just feeling the septum a little bit more. So I'm gonna do that today, and then maybe in a future podcast we'll get my nostril pierced too.
Yeah, we're
But-
taking you guys on the adventure for a minute.
Yeah, it'll be a fun little field trip expose.
So do you
I'm
have any
excited.
of your ears anymore?
I do. So I started this ear, gosh, 2 years ago now, I really want to do the Sagittarius constellation
Oh, fun.
because I'm an astrology. Well, I can't speak.
Australia G?
I'm
Astrology.
I'm an
Astrology.
Australian.
You're Australian.
I'm an astrology queen. But I only have the three started down here, and I'm not actually wearing any earrings in
I'm
my
gonna
ears
say
right now. They're actually fully naked.
I'm too afraid to take my tragus out for that long. Like I always put the basket right away.
Well, tragus, I'm pretty sure is closed up. I took
Uh,
that out for surgery last
mm.
year, and I just never put it back in. Same with these other ones. So, like, honestly, today when we go to get my nostril done, I thought about getting piercings back in here because they can just like put them
Yeah.
in. But I'm not going to do it today.
Mm.
I figure the septum's enough, and then maybe next week I'll do the earrings and maybe another piercing up here because I haven't finished the astrology, the constellation. So.
I wanted to talk to you about accommodations for doing different
About
things.
what?
Accommodations for getting tattoos and piercings.
Great. Maybe I can
We're
use one today.
neurodivergent. Yeah.
We're doing it with a reminder.
Yes. In case anyone had forgotten.
So somebody had asked on Reddit, they said accommodations during a tattoo or other advice. This is not my first tattoo, but it's the first time I have to go alone. And in the past, the person I brought with me for support helped meet my needs and communicated with the tattoo artist for me. So I'm not sure how to prepare myself for the appointment as far as accommodations. What's worked for you guys? So some people talked about bringing a safe food snack, having something for that, which makes more sense for tattooing because I think yours is going to go so fast you probably don't need anything.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 20-minute appointment.
Yeah. And the actual piercing is like 1 second.
1 second. Yeah. Just in and out.
In and out, yep. And then they also talked about having a script beforehand, which I thought was a really cool idea because I have not really gone into mine with having like scripts in mind. I feel like that would help because there's such a like I don't know intimidating thing about artists, like
so helpful.
Especially my leg one. Oh my gosh, she was toast. She's so cool. Like I was like, you were way too cool for me, and then she offered me the smoke like during the middle.
Stop it.
Oh my god. Like, went
so
in the alley and
fun.
in the middle of the tattoo.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I was like really intimidated because I like already it's hard to speak up for yourself and have those like changes that you need done and like feel the pressure of that. And then also like I don't know, them being really cool people in general.
Yeah.
Definitely adds to that.
They're
pressure.
cool and it's intimidating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely brought a blanket and a pillow on my last tattoo. That helped a lot. And then a lot of people talked about headphones.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because some people were saying that the sound of the tattoo machines actually bothers them and is more like sensory stimulating. So doing headphones, something to listen to in advance.
Good idea. I've seen more and more, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. I've seen more and more people, not only tattoo artists, but like hairdressers start to have like silent appointment as one of the options that you can like add to your cart while you're booking your tattoo. So it doesn't even have to be a conversation while you're at the studio. And like they just have the acknowledgement that like it's not expected that you all are going to have a conversation throughout, which I think is so brilliant.
That's so nice because like there's like an expectation to have a relationship with especially hairdressers because you go back regularly, but it's so awkward because it's like I'm one of like 50 people you see in a week like times 20 because you know people won't come back every week, so like, I mean, how many people are you talking to all the time? Like, this isn't a real relationship, but like we kind of know each other, but like
and then it makes you feel awkward when you need to leave
them. Like, what's
oh, I really like who you are as a person, but like I like someone else's hair cutting more or whatever the deal is. Yeah,
it's hard
to
hurt people's feelings or potentially like. Honestly, that probably doesn't even hurt their feelings at all. You're probably just like, oh, okay, there's another one. Yeah. Somebody else will come through the door.
So true.
Well, it's like I don't know. I struggle enough to remember like close friends details, like their kids or their birthday or their whatever to talk about. And then like memorizing one extra person's stuff is like too much. Like I don't have the capacity to memorize things about your life to ask about next time.
Totally. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way.
My hairdresser has 2 cats and their names are Cecil and Gladys.
I know. That's really cute.
You're like, you memorize everybody's cat information.
I do remember. Yes. I know everyone's cat information and their zodiac sign.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
My hairdresser has definitely told me about their partner, what he does for work, all that. None of it's in my head,
just
but just the cats. Yeah, Cecil and Gladys.
My mom's special interest is where people are from. She can remember like everyone where they're from. Like, yeah,
it's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool skill. I don't have that kind of memory. But.
Yeah,
I definitely relate to the astrology sign.
Yeah,
and knowing them and how to interact with people based on their astrology signs. It's a good information.
Judging people based on their astrology sign.
Maybe sometimes. Maybe ending relationships early because of astrology signs. No, I'm just kidding.
That's valid.
I've never dated a Virgo.
I've never dated another Taurus. So there's 1/6 of our viewers.
Bye.
Yeah, another thing people were talking about was whether piercings are going to be overstimulating or not, especially septums people were talking about because they were like, oh, can you like feel it all the time? Does it like bug you?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were saying what I have with it, which is you end up fidgeting with it a lot. Like I make like I like purse my lips and I can feel it. So I can like kind of wiggle it around. And then I mess with it kind of a lot. Like even before having a nose ring, even before my nose ring, I would like mess with my nose a lot. Like as a kid, I got in trouble all the time for picking my nose, but I was just like I like stim touching my nose a lot.
I was just gonna say one of my stims is going like this with my nose, and I like rub the tip of it, and so it'll be interesting if I can still do that with the septum piercing.
Not the first week. Just
don't do it. Don't
do it. Don't do it. After that, you'll be fine.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah, trying to avoid it in the first week is really hard.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I've done harder things. Let's be honest.
So true. So true.
This wasn't the worst though. I really don't think this piercing was too hard.
Which one was the worst?
Your nipples.
We talked about this. None of us have nipples pierced yet.
I think these two have been the hardest. The two that are too close together.
Yeah.
Just because they won't pierce them with a ring.
Time.
Yeah, I got them at the same time, but they won't pierce with a ring. So there was originally 2 studs in, and the 2 studs backs were like touching each other. So it was constantly getting irritated, and it's still a little hard because sometimes if I sleep on it and the ring gets like pushed over, it'll hurt for like a day or two. So, but I don't want to take it out because I don't want to do it again. So
it's out. Yeah.
Shall I go get pierced?
I think you should.
You still feeling like it after all that?
Yeah, I am right now.
There's no going
I'm excited.
All right, everybody, be unapologetically you this week.
Find your joy.
Be gay, do crime.
Thanks for joining us this week. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music.
Please like, subscribe, and leave us a review. We could use some of those. If you want to get pictures that go along with our episodes and follow along, join us on Instagram and TikTok.
Thanks hotties. I can probably, should I take off my sweatshirt for some?
Yes.
Just my top is like up. Thank you.
I want to feel helpful too.
I know.